Hey guys, I'm Matt Golson from GamersCast, and today we're going to answer the age-old question, should you buy Super Luigi U, the DLC on New Super Mario Bros. U, for the Wii U? Wow, that was a tongue twister and a half. Anyway, Super Luigi U, it's a $20 DLC or a $30 standalone game. Right now the DLC is available now. The standalone game for $30 will be available next month. I've been playing it pretty extensively, and I have to say I have incredibly mixed feelings about it. Right off the bat, Mario isn't playable in this game whatsoever, and it's odd because on one hand I feel like the game is almost a lazy effort, but on the other hand I feel like it's an extensive effort, so both of these conflicting emotions sort of come together to make it feel like a pretty average DLC. If you've played any sort of Mario hack before, whether it be on Super Mario World or New Super Mario Bros. Wii, it basically feels like that, except I paid for it. Essentially, when you start up Super Luigi U, it's the exact same cutscene as it was when you first started up the original game, except Mario isn't there and his hat's just sitting on a table. But the 4-player co-op is still there, except Mario was replaced with Nabbit, which is intended for beginners because he can't take any damage, but he doesn't get power-ups, but he doesn't take damage. So I don't know, it's kind of odd, but if you're in single-player mode, you are forced to play as Luigi unless you use one of the glitches that has been going around the internet. I've just been using Luigi because that's how it's meant to be played. So I have to say, Luigi controls interesting. He controls very interestingly. It's similar to how he controls in Super Mario 2. It's not how he controls in the main game. It's how he controls in Super Mario 2. He sort of has this flutter about him, and it's similar to Yoshi's flutter, as in the flutter lasts just as long as Yoshi's, but it arcs up a bit higher than Yoshi's, and Luigi's normal jump is a bit higher than Mario's. So essentially you have this really super jump, but at the same time he doesn't have nearly as much traction as Mario does when running on the ground or trying to make a quick stop or something along those lines. So it's a trade-off, just like it was in Mario 2, except the only thing is you don't really have a choice this time. Of course, for co-op you also have the other two characters are still Blue and Yellow Toad, so woohoo. But yeah, it's very interesting, and it takes a bit of getting used to. Another thing that takes a bit of that's very odd about this DLC is that, yes, every single level in the game has been redone, and there is a new level for every single original stage. And you think that's great, because it's like, wow, that's so much content. Despite the fact that the overworld is untouched, the cutscenes are untouched, and everything else about this game is untouched, it's essentially a brand new set of levels, so it's good, right? Well, yes and no. Yes, because yes, it is a brand new set of levels. No, because the levels are very, very, very short. And by very short, I mean every single time you start a stage, you only have 100 seconds on the clock in order to beat it, which makes you feel unnecessarily rushed, because then you're like, oh no, it's 100 seconds, I have to rush through this, and you end up dying a lot, which makes the DLC feel a lot harder than it is, when in reality the stages are just so much shorter that the clock has to be that length. Usually you'll finish a stage with a good 40 seconds left on the clock, so it really isn't too much of a panic, though I will say the difficulty is significantly more difficult than the original game. So much so that I actually didn't want to LP this, because yes, I can beat it, and it wouldn't be too difficult to do, but I did record one episode, and when I did, I realized the difficulty was going to ramp up too much, and it would get to the point where I would just not be able to provide interesting enough commentary. It's not the sort of thing where you can talk over it and play. It's a sort of game where you need to focus and get down to it, which I guess is reason enough for putting Nabbit in the game. So, all in all, Super Luigi U is a mixed bag. If you just can't get enough of Mario stages, it's $20, so on one hand it's worth it, but on the other hand it's also very short stages, and it feels like almost a minimalistic effort. but it is a good challenge. If you are looking for a challenge, it is a good challenge, and I will give the game that. I can't really justify buying it as a standalone game because, yes, the stages are shorter, so it's going to be $30 as a retail game, $20 as DLC. I can't really justify spending $30 for this, for just this experience alone, because it's not Mario. It's not... It's just... I would not recommend doing that. The main game will give you a lot more content, and getting it as DLC on top of that is probably a better value. But, I mean, the option's there if you really want to go that route. Anyway, that's basically it for me. It's hard to recommend this, but at the same time, it's really up to your call. I may make a review of this game. I'm still deciding whether or not I want to yet. I still need to play through it to the end before I can make that call. I've made it through... played a little over half at this by the time I'm recording this. But right now, yeah, it's up in the air. Based on what I've said, you make the decision. But I can't recommend this. I've been Matt Goldsman, and I'll catch you guys next time.